Hey guys, what is going on? In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how I was able to land $18 booked calls into my calendar with an 80% show rate for B2B local businesses for my agency. Now, this video is for you if you run an agency, maybe a coaching and consulting business, and you're struggling to get booked calls on the calendar. I want to show you a brand new way that we've been able to get $18 cost per calls on our calendar with a very simple funnel, very simple creative process that you can swipe and replicate in your business today. Now, I'm doing this video particularly because we had a disgruntled commenter yesterday saying that I had put out a video giving generic info. I disagree. I think that video has a lot of insight based on actual experience, but I wanted to, take heed of the feedback and give you guys something perhaps a little bit more practical, a little bit more, I guess, in the weeds and from a tactical standpoint of how to actually set up ads. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. It obviously helps us reach a bigger audience and help more people and grow our business as well. And just to give you a little bit of context, we've worked with over 750 clients online specifically, helping people either build an agency or transition their in-person business marketing processes to online. Now, with that in mind, let's jump into the content. Now, just to give you guys a little bit of context, this process here is based on a strategy I used in early 2021, which is where I needed to make $10,000 that month. And I pretty well had a gun to my head because I had bills that I needed to pay. We had rent that we needed to pay, and there was no money that was coming in. So I pretty well had to build this business from scratch. And the thing is, when you're in that situation, you can't afford to, I guess, make mistakes or spend time on things that don't actually move the needle. So this is the process that I replicated just last week, and I changed it a little bit than what I did in 2021, just because obviously it's 2025 and there's a few little extra pieces that needed to be managed. So with that in mind, let's jump into the content. So the first piece is the ad setup. So this is the exact creative template that we used. The actual ad that we ran was slightly different, but this is the exact template that we use. So this is the offer that works. What I will say is, I know you guys are probably familiar with the different types of offers that you can do. This offer is a pretty decent offer. And the way that you explain it on a sales call is if they sign up for 6 months, they get a guaranteed 90 leads. But if they want to do month by month, it's just you break that up based on, the months. So it would be 15 leads per month. So it's an easy way to pull in people, because what I've found is that big claims and big promises actually do work. You just need to be able to deliver them, and you need to be able to explain them in a way that makes sense. Because here's the thing, you could get them 90 leads in 1 month, but they need to have a bigger ad budget. And if they're not willing to risk that ad budget, then it's not really your problem not being able to, deliver those 90 leads because you need the budget, right? But the first thing is this kind of offer really does work. Now, the second thing is the targeting. So we actually found that we specifically targeted 22 to 57 as the age range. And for the detailed targeting that you can see down here is we actually targeted small business and entrepreneurship as the targeting, and detailed targeting worked better than Facebook's AI targeting, which is really interesting, far better. So the detailed targeting worked way better than Facebook's AI targeting. And this is the ad copy that we used. So we actually used Claude.ai to create this ad copy. I basically gave them the offer. I explained who I was targeting, and then it created this long ad copy for me, which worked well. So that's the first thing. Now, this enabled us to get leads coming in at around initially $10. It increased to about $20 over the 4 days. And within the first day, we got 4 calls at $18 a pop. So it worked well. Now, the second piece is the nurture process. So we actually linked them. We actually connected this to a lead form. And then after they processed a lead form, they were then sent to a Calendly booking link. And we found that literally 80% of leads that came through actually booked in onto the Calendly link. Now, if you guys haven't heard about Facebook lead forms, and you haven't ever run an ad before to get book calls, I'm going to be giving away this complete template and strategy that you can download and just simply click and copy and paste and put into your Facebook Ads Manager. Comment ads below, and I'm going to send you the full template, the full working process, so that you can start getting book calls like we were for $18 a pop. Now, so link to lead form, went to the Calendly booking system, and then they booked in calls. And so we're getting calls booked onto the calendar like 3 times a day, which is amazing, right? Now, we had simplified reminders. So what we found is that in the past, people have a little bit too much of a complex reminder process. If you bombard and spam people with too much reminders, they're kind of like you can't force a human just to do something just because you tell them more about it. Like there is a level where the more reminders you send, it actually decreases the chance they're going to show. So we literally send a confirmation message and 1 reminder message through email and SMS that is done through Calendly's booking system. If you want to know the workflow that we use that allowed us to get the 80% show rate, comment workflow below in the YouTube comments, and I can send that through to you just in the comments. Now, we linked them to a Google Meet call. Okay, so they're booked in for a Google Meet call initially. But this is what we did, and this is really important. So there's a book called The Speed of Trust by Stephen Covey. And basically, the thesis in this book is people only work with people that they trust with. If they don't trust you, they're only going to be willing to risk a certain amount to see the outcome that you can provide for them. But if you, through this process of nurture, can build up the level of trust, the speed at which they're going to close will be higher. So that's why we do a 2-call close. Now, the way that we do this is the first call is really just a bit of a discovery about their business. So, hey, how's this going? What are you looking to do? Blah, 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 blah. And then that allows us to get information. Now, the information that we want from this first call is, number 1, do they have a need? Is there a need there? If they're just a window shopper, we don't actually schedule a second call. This call's literally 5 minutes to determine whether this is a good fit or someone who's window shopping. We boot out the window shoppers, or we boot them out if they don't have funding. And we keep the ones that actually have a need, that are looking to grow or are looking to get a better result and do have funding. So that's the B2B discovery that we use. Now, if you guys want to see the triage script or B2B discovery script we do, comment script below. I know I'm putting out a lot of lead magnets here, but I just want to see which ones you guys resonate with. And then basically, so what we're doing here is we're triaging the leads, or we're qualifying the leads before we actually sit down and pitch them on anything. And so we actually found quite a few of them converted. They actually converted over into a demo call. Now, the demo call, which is here, you could have pitch factors here, or demo call, or strategy call, sales call, whatever you want. We did this specifically over Google Meet. We had the video on. Video on's important when you're closing over like a Google Meet or a Zoom. It's just because it adds that level of trust. Now, this is the process that we took them through on the pitch. So what we want to do is, before we go into the pitch, we want to get them into a problem state or a need state. We then want to understand their buying beliefs, and we want to reframe them on any bad buying beliefs that they have. We then want to establish their desire, and then we go into the pitch. So really, the 3 things you want to do on the sales call is get them into problem state. What is the need that you have? Get them into a solution. Get into their buying beliefs. So what are their buying beliefs that they have about marketing agencies or growing their business, whatever. And then we go into their desire, where they're wanting to take things. And then when we go into the pitch, here's what you want to do. You want to have a big promise to start with, right? So we can help you get X, Y, Z. Now, you then want to go through lots and lots of proof. So go through, at least 3 case studies that you can quote. What I will say is that what makes a difference is that if you do have a niche and you've worked with someone in that particular industry before, they're going to believe you a lot more. If you have proof, but it's not in their industry, it's going to be harder. And that is the benefit of niching down, is because we actually ran this as a broad campaign. So for any type of business we ran this for, It's so much easier to close if you have case studies in their specific niche, because they just believe that it's going to work. Now, once you've gone through the big promise, you've gone through the proof, you need to go through the process. Now, the process needs to be explained in a way that a 5-year-old can understand. So if you start talking about algorithms, you start talking about CPMs, you start talking about LTV, it's just not going to work for you. You need to be able to talk about things in a way that are sort of like picture stories. Like, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to target your exact audience using, like, if you imagine on a Google Maps, we're going to have a radius, like a circle around your target audience there. And in their brain, think about it like this. They need to be able to picture what you're saying in their brain as a picture. If it's too abstract or it's too complicated, they're not going to understand. And it needs to make sense. And what you'll find is that as the agency, you know that there are certain things that make this process work, but they don't think that. You need to know when you're pitching what their objections are about what makes this process work. So one big objection that the small business might have is, what if I reach too many people in my area and they start getting annoyed at me, right? That might be a weird objection that they have. And the way that you deal with that is you say, no worries, on the Facebook ads dashboard, it actually shows you how many times an ad's been shown to that particular audience. And rarely does it ever get shown more than once. And they're going to go, oh, amazing. They're going to have weird objections like that because they don't understand the process. They don't have your expertise. So you need to be able to take them through your 3-step process, which to start with, you want to have a 3-step process, which on a high level explains step by step how you take people through getting them the result they want from A to Z, but do it in a way that they can picture. Now, number 4 is pitch factors. So pitch factors I've written up here is there's going to be certain elements that you can add into your pitch that drive the deal home for you. So one of these things is, instead of charging upfront for a month, charge just for a week. Because what you've got to understand is that in every sales process, there is a pendulum. There's belief, and this is high quality stuff, guys. You're not going to hear this from Hormozy. You're not going to hear this from Charlie Morgan. You're not going to hear this from Iman Ghazi. I figured this out myself. On a sales call, there's a belief and skepticism pendulum. Okay. Now, what you've got to do is you've got to make the pendulum high enough so that the belief is more than the skepticism. And as soon as the belief reaches above the skepticism, boom, you've got the close. So to get there, you have to both increase belief, which is say, hey, look at what we've done. Look at what we've been able to do. Here's the proof. This is our process. This is how it works. Can you picture it? But then on the flip side, you need to decrease skepticism by having, it's a free trial, or you only pay per week, or you only pay per lead, or whatever. And then you have on top of that a guarantee, which decreases the skepticism majorly. It's really important to understand that guarantees work very well on fresh audiences that have never been guaranteed before, but it's really important that you deliver, because you're going to burn them if you guarantee a huge result and you just know you're not going to be able to deliver it. I get it. Like, you want to grow your business, you want to get clients, but make sure that you can explain the guarantee in a way that actually gets them the result. And ultimately, guys, if you can get them a 2 to 3x ROI in about 2 months, that's pretty decent. And they're making money from that. So as long as you can get them that and you can explain the guarantee in a way that makes sense, it's going to work. Now, put this here, the croc brain. So you've got to understand that the croc brain is the element of the brain that gets people excited, okay? And so when you remove roadblocks from them actually buying, which could be, they don't want to pay everything up front, they don't believe in Facebook ads and you remove those things like pitch factors, which is like, we'll call your leads for you. We'll do the creatives for you. So pitch factors, if we were to break it down, could be things like ease of use. So have you made it easy? Have you made it easy to start, i.e. payment plans? Stuff like that. no contract. Because if you think about it, if you say to them, hey, you're going to have to run the ad, you're locked in for 12 months, we want you to pay all up front, people are not going to do that. Like, unless you have a really substantial reason why they should pay up front, why they should run the ads themselves. Like if you're a huge megastar, like if you're like an Alex Hormozy, you could do that. People would do that, but you don't have that brand power. So you need to make it easy to start, no contract, stuff like that. This is especially important if you're new to the game. But guys, yeah, this is the process. $18 book calls. We got some deals on the way. Thank you for watching, and we'll speak to you soon. Cheers.